What up guys, it's the Critique here, and this is the first in a series of episodes where we're going to be taking a deep dive into every match that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been in charge of Manchester United, with the sole aim of using issues that you seldom consider while watching a match to determine whether or not he's the right man for the job. So if you don't mind a different point of view, facts and figures and shocks along the way, stay tuned because it's the Critique and I'm about to get down to business. So let's start by taking a look at Cardiff. This is a team that's rated 3.5 out of 5 stars, and its form going into the match against Manchester United was loss, win, loss, win, loss, with losses against Watford, West Ham and Everton. And in these last 5 matches, Cardiff had conceded 8 goals, so this team was definitely ripe for the picking. At that point, Cardiff had been the first to concede goals in 9 of the last 10 matches that it had played in. It also had not beat Manchester United in the last 58 years, and it had only held 36.2% of the possession in the last 5 games against rather small teams. In the days running up to the match, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer stated that he wanted Manchester United to play without fear. On the day, Alexis Sanchez and his hamstring injury aside, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer showed that he wanted to go the academy route, taking Rashford and Lingard ahead of more experienced players like Lukaku. We will analyze this in detail later on. First of all, let's start by conducting what I call threat analysis. We want to determine the level of danger that Manchester United faced throughout the game. We also want to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer dealt with these threats, as it will give us insights into how he will behave along the line, especially in big matches like Champions League semi-finals, Champions League finals, or in critical matches in the league. Let's start by taking a look at the crossing. Cardiff managed to cross the ball 11 times in Manchester United's final third. My question to you is, why was this happening? A big team like Manchester United should not be letting a small team like Cardiff run at them like this. Now, looking at the quality of the crosses, on average they were rated at 60%. How did I arrive at 60%? I took a look at the crossing quality rating of all the people who crossed the ball for Cardiff and averaged it by 11. So the threat from the crosses was not that high, but the thing is, the crosses were coming in. So my question to you is, what about against Barcelona or a bigger team? If crosses are coming in like this, what will be the end result? Here's a rundown of the crossing. In the 12th minute, Josh Murphy, who has a crossing quality rating of 65%, makes a poor cross. Phil Jones repels that easily. Again in the 12th minute, Cunningham, who has a crossing quality rating of 55%, makes a poor cross to Patterson, who collides with Shaw. This cross, the second cross, was marred by poor positioning and poor timing. So as you can see already, the level of quality that Manchester United was having to deal with from the wings was pretty low. In the 30th minute, Josh Murphy crosses to no one and nowhere. And in the 42nd minute, Arta, who has a crossing quality rating of 50%, crosses the ball into the crossbar. In the 43rd minute, Ashley Young arrives at the ball first near midfield, but he loses the ball. Patterson then takes the ball and beats Lindelof and crosses the ball in. The cross is of poor quality. Patterson has a crossing quality rating of 60%. In the 71st minute, Hoylett, who has a crossing quality rating of about 70%, takes the ball and loops it in. Patterson receives the ball but cannot do anything about it. He is easily marked by Shaw. Note that even though Patterson has a heading ability of about 85%, the ball was too weak and he was too far from goal to do anything about it. In the 81st minute, Josh Murphy attempts to cross but is blocked. And more interestingly, in the 85th minute, Harris, who has a crossing quality rating of about 65%, makes a poor cross towards Josh Murphy, who probably would not have been able to do anything with it if he had received the ball. Why? Because Josh Murphy has a heading ability rating of about 35%. So this also gives us insights into the opposing coach Neil Warnock, his tactics in terms of his ability and in terms of his flexibility during the match. During the match, he's attempting crosses and crosses from people who are not good at crosses to people who are not good at receiving crosses. So while on the pitch it might have looked like there was some action, Manchester United was not really under threat from Cardiff's crossing. Towards the end of the match, Camarasa crosses the ball straight to David De Gea, and in the 92nd minute, Harris beats Ashley Young and crosses the ball out of the pitch. Now, what you will notice, there were 11 crosses, but there were 11 tame crosses throughout the match. 11 crosses that did not pose an immediate danger to Manchester United. But what you should note is that these 11 crosses came throughout the match and they were evenly distributed. This means that they were coming from somewhere, and it was a tactic of Cardiff that was working to some extent. This is a tactic that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not deal with. We will analyze this phenomenon and other issues as we go on in the series to see if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is able to actually stop problems from occurring. Moving on to the free kicks, Josh Murphy took the first one. Josh Murphy has a free kick quality rating of 40%, and Josh Murphy has not scored a free kick in the Premier League, so the chances of this going in were very slim. In the 42nd minute, Camarasa, who has a free kick quality rating of about 45%, took a free kick, but it did not land on anyone. In the 68th minute though, Camarasa hit another free kick and it was received by Patterson. Although this did not go in, it was a good free kick. What we can definitely say about this free kick though is it was not a big chance. In the 73rd minute, Camarasa delivers a delicious free kick into the area that saw Bamba heads wide from close range. This was surprising considering that Bamba has a pretty good heading rating at 75%. This was one of Cardiff's big chances. We'll talk about the other ones later. To sum it up, Cardiff got 4 free kicks in Manchester United's final third, and one of those led to a big chance that Sol Bamba did not manage to convert. Adding these 4 free kicks to the 11 crosses that Cardiff made brings us to a total of 15 attacking actions that happened in Manchester United's final third, courtesy of Cardiff. 15 attacking actions. Anyway, let's continue because there's more. Through balls are an indicator of one team's ability to break down the other team. In the match between Cardiff and Manchester United, Cardiff managed to have 2 opportunities where they could have put through balls and created goals for themselves. In the 20th minute, we see Sol Bamba attacking the Manchester United defense. Instead of going to the left to Murphy, he goes to the right with the ball easily being blocked off by Matic. And you see that Sol Bamba is actually poor in decision making as he has a rating of 50% and also a rating on vision of about 60%. If someone else was in possession of that ball at that point in time, they would have gone left to Murphy, who had a lot of space out on the left. He could have gone in and actually created a goal scoring chance for Cardiff. In the 42nd minute, you see Patterson making a poor attempt at a through ball with no real pressure on him. The lack of quality in this instance is shown in his decision-making rating of about 50% and his vision rating of about 45%. A different player in a different scenario would have caused problems for Manchester United. This was another big chance that Cardiff missed. We're now on 2 big chances. Corners are a very good indicator of the amount of pressure that a team puts on another team, and in this match, Cardiff was putting a great deal of pressure on Manchester United. In the 30th minute, Rashford cleared a poor corner kick from the near post, and in the 64th minute, Sol Bamba put his head to another poor outswinger. In the 76th minute, Camarasa delivered a poor corner kick that Matic cleared easily. The total number of attacking actions by Cardiff from the corner post was about 3, and the average quality of the crosses or the corners was 35%. So even if these corner kicks were not much of a threat to Manchester United, action was happening. Right, the next category are shots. Now, if all the shots that a team hits against another team results in big chances being created, then it says something about the defense. In this match, all the shots that Cardiff hit on target against Manchester United resulted in big chances. In the 64th minute, you see Murphy attempting a finesse shot which was blocked off by David De Gea. Now, why is this a big chance? It is because the defense was asleep. Looking at Murphy, he probably failed to convert it as his shooting quality rating is about 65% and his conversion rate this season from open play is a dismal 7.7%. In the 74th minute, substitute Zohore had a weak shot blocked by Matic in the area. He had the option to either shimmy Matic or actually pass the ball to the right to a player who was ready and willing to shoot. In the 76th minute, Zohore, who was proving to be a problem for Manchester United, beat Lindelof down the right and had a shot blocked by De Gea at an angle. Now, Zohore probably failed to make the most of these chances as he's not a very good player. He has a decision-making rating of about 55%, and a finishing rating of about 60%. But one interesting aspect about the substitution of Zohore, it showed that Neil Warnock was actually better than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at making decisions on substitutions. We'll actually look at the substitutions made by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in terms of Fred, Fellaini and others to see what impact this had on the match. To sum it up, Cardiff had 3 shots on target, all which resulted in big chances. This is in spite of the fact that the average quality of the finishes was 65%. This says something about Manchester United's defense, and we will analyze this phenomenon in other episodes. As they say in soccer, goals make a game. Now, the most important aspect that we are looking for in terms of goals is the nature of the goal. We want to make sure that Manchester United is scoring goals that come from a sustainable source. What do I mean? Over the course of a season, luck plays less and less a part as you play more and more games. So we're only going to be taking account of the goals that Manchester United scored either without the assistance of the other team in terms of errors, or the assistance of the referee, or the assistance of conditions surrounding the match. We want to see which goals Manchester United have been able to score in cold-blooded fashion. So in this match, the 2 cold-blooded goals that Manchester United scored was the 40-minute goal by Anthony Martial and the 90th minute goal by Lingard. These are the types of goals that we want to see. These are the types of goals that we ensure that we challenge for honors. Now, as for the other 3 goals that Manchester United scored, these are the goals that I'm talking about. These are the goals that we should discount when we are actually assessing Manchester United's potential over the course of a season. Why? Because these types of goals are not goals that you score all the time. So while they might make one game look good, over the course of the season, they don't mean much. We start in the 5th minute. Rashford scored a free kick which was deflected in by a Cardiff defender. That was an assist. Also, to add to that, the referee gave Paul Pogba a soft free kick against Gunnarsson. That doesn't happen all the time. So we discount that goal as a fluke. The next goal in the 28th minute, under Herrera's long-range shot, was deflected in by Cunningham. That is actually another stroke of luck. Luck is good, but can we count on luck over the course of the season? In the 56th minute, Jesse Lingard converted a penalty after being fouled by Sol Bamba in the area. There is another assist by Cardiff. So we'll strike these 3 off as flukes and leave the scoreline, the real scoreline of cold-blooded goals at Manchester United 2, Cardiff 0. We also strike off the goal by Camarasa for Cardiff as it was off the penalty spot after Rashford handled the ball in the area. So from a Cardiff perspective, you'll notice that even though they lost 5-1 and the scoreline looked pretty for Manchester United, a lot of action was going on against Manchester United. It's just that Cardiff lacked the quality to put the finishing touch to the chances that they were creating. All in all, in the final third, there were 28 attacking actions that were made by Cardiff and 6 big chances that were created by Cardiff. And if it was a better team, the scoreline would have ended a whole lot differently. Now we want to see, amongst all this, what was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer up to? Okay, looking at the general tactic that was being used by Ole, Matic was a deep-lying pivot and he was spreading the balls to the wings as Manchester United tried to penetrate through the wings. I can't exactly say stretching, but actually penetrate through the wings. And also, what I'll look at in terms of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is what I call attack modes. Number 1, I want to see the nature of the attack modes, and number 2, I want to see how many attack modes that he has. We're going to be analyzing this aspect in the episodes as we go into the future. Why am I looking at attack modes? Because over the course of the season, you come across different types of teams. You come across teams which attack and play an open game. You come across teams which park the bus. You come across teams with players who have different abilities in different roles and in different situations. So you want to have as many attack modes as possible to ensure that you can break down any type of team. In this match, we actually saw that Manchester United deployed 2 types of attack mode. The first attack mode was through the wings. Now, the ball would come from Matic, who was the pivot, through the wings, and they try to penetrate. This did not work because of all the 5 goals that Manchester United scored, none of them came through the wings. So we know that he has one attack mode, but we don't know whether or not it's going to work over the long course of a season. So far, as the Cardiff match is concerned, this tactic did not work. The second attacking mode that was used by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was to try and go through the middle. Now it was clear throughout the whole match that this was his plan B because the players were not very good at executing it. Every time the players tried to thread the ball through the middle, they either did not have the vision or they lacked the skill or the flair to dribble past Cardiff defenders. The third attacking mode that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deployed on the day was a long ball from the central defense to the center forward. Now this did not work completely as Rashford usually found himself isolated or in positions where he could not do much with the ball. Now the most important thing that we want to note and track over the course of the next episodes about these attacking modes is which was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's main preferred attacking mode per match, his plan B and his plan C. In this match, by the amount of time that was actually used on each attacking mode, you could tell that going through the wing was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preferred solution for Manchester United. That did not work at all. Plan B, luckily for him, which was threading the ball through the middle, worked, and this is where all the goals came from. Now the third tactic did not work at all. We're going to be analyzing to see whether or not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can make his main attack mode on any given day work or make the plan B better and actually make plan C a plan that can actually bring something for the club, because over the course of a season we need to have as many attack modes possible, and all these attack modes need to be executed flawlessly to ensure that Manchester United can actually challenge for honours. An aspect that we're going to use to actually determine if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a good fit for Manchester United is his ability to solve problems as they arise in the game. Usually every match there's a tactic that is deployed by the opposing coach that if you do not attend to, it can lead to you paying the price. Throughout the match, Cardiff made it a point to attack Manchester United down its right side. Probably before the match, Neil Warnock had noticed that an opportunity lied down that right side. You see in the 4th minute Murphy bullying Lingard and actually going past Young before conceding a foul in the area. Murphy is also a good dribbler of the ball as he has a dribbling quality rating of about 75%. In the 6th minute, you see Ashley Young being attacked again by Murphy and Jesse Lingard is nowhere to be found. Maybe this is a result of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer asking him not to track back, or actually Jesse Lingard was not listening to instructions. This is a phenomenon that can cause problems for Manchester United in the long run, especially over the course of a season, so this is something we're going to analyze. In the 12th minute, Young is passed by again by Murphy, who goes on to make a poor cross. In the 29th minute, Young is passed by Murphy, who makes a poor cross, and in the 30th minute, Young is beaten again by Murphy, who then delivers a poor cross from the byline. At this point, you can see that it's becoming a pattern that Young is passed by Murphy without the assistance of Lingard in terms of defending. In the 76th minute, you see Lindelof being beaten by Zohore, with Zohore unleashing a fierce shot which is saved by De Gea. Again, just after that, you see Harris beating Young down the right and crossing in a ball to the far post instead of going for Zohore, who's coming in the near post and is actually not tightly marked. So as far as solving problems which arise during a match is concerned, you notice in this episode that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer failed to stop Cardiff from attacking down the right. They managed to attack us, Manchester United, down the right from the first whistle down to the last whistle. So this is a phenomenon we'll be analyzing about the coach as we go into future episodes to see if he has the ability to get us out of trouble at any point in time. Another important aspect of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics that we're going to be analyzing in the episodes that are coming up is his strategy from set pieces. If you look at his free kick strategy in the Cardiff game, it was Ashley Young whipping in the free kicks with Manchester United players arranged in the box in no apparent fashion. You know, for some teams we see some zonal attacks or some zonal defending, but with Manchester United it was not really clear to determine or to establish what was going on. Also, looking at the strategy for the corner kicks, Ashley Young was taking the corner kicks from the left and from the right. He was hitting out swingers and there were 5 players in the box each time. The first 3 times players were just scattered in no particular fashion, and in the last 2 free kicks you'd see 3 Manchester United players sort of like in one area with 2 scattered over the rest of the area. All of these crosses and all of these free kicks did not bear any fruit, and as far as this game is concerned, they were not really convincing in terms of the way that they were executed. So at this point I can say set pieces are not something that United can rely on, maybe except penalties. But as far as the free kicks are concerned and the corners are concerned, it will be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer handles this going into the games that we'll be analyzing. As we stated earlier, Neil Warnock showed that he's very good at substitutions by introducing Zohore, who actually caused problems for Manchester United. Looking at the other side, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made a substitution of Fred in the 77th minute. In the 81st minute, Fred flubbed his lines upon receiving a ball from Pogba, and this set up Cardiff for a counter-attack. In the 83rd minute, Fred sends a long piercing ball towards Lingard, who lays it off for Martial, who fluffs his lines. That was a very good delivery. Shortly after, in the 84th minute, you see Fred laying off the ball to Pogba, who fluffs his line when he was supposed to actually cross in the ball. So as far as Fred is concerned, it was a decent substitution, 2 good moves going forward, and one potentially problematic mistake being caused. 2-1, a decent substitution if you can say. And as for the other 2 substitutions, mainly Pereira and Fellaini, there was not much of an impact. So when you look at coach to coach, no one came out ahead in terms of his substitutions, as Zohore and Harris had a much bigger impact in the game than Fred, Pereira and Fellaini combined. So there it is, guys, a deep dive of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first match in charge of Manchester United. What do you think of the matrix that I was using? Let me know in the comments section below. The idea is actually to build a picture of what we should expect going into the future as Manchester United fans. So game after game, we'll build the charts, we'll build the trend lines, and we'll build the facts. And by the end of this season and the start of next season, after obviously analyzing the summer, we will know what to expect. We will definitely know whether or not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the man for the Manchester United job. So thanks for watching. Please like and share the video, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and click on that notification bell so that you'll be in the know when I release my next video.